Viewer, this is the story of two pixelated heroes in their arduous journey to become overpowered. Welcome to the Splitscreen OPE, the organized player experience. Okay, so let me break down exactly what an organized player experience is before we get into the montage a little bit. So all restrictions apply that would be applied to a PPE. You may have a pet, but you can only take loot that was dropped while you were playing on the character. This is an MPE rule as well. You can't share items between characters or from your vault. Now the OPE is special for a couple of reasons. First of all, you can only pick up the next available tier of an item. If you had like a T3, you could not jump to a T5 if you found one. You would have to get a T4 first and leave the T5 on the ground, and then when you had a T4, you could go look for another T5. These rules will all be in the description below as well, so if you're kind of confused, you can look at them all in order. Now there's also no swap outs allowed. This means you have to have only one set of items. You can't swap things out like, say, a plague and a bane serpent. You can only have one or the other. This also means that you can't hold on to something like a T5 item while you're waiting for a T4 to drop. If you have a T3 and a T5 drops, you have to just leave it there until you get a T4, in which case if the bag's still on the ground, you could run back and grab it, otherwise you're going to have to find a new one. You can't hold a higher tier item in your inventory to wait until you can use it. Also, you cannot use UT or ST items until you've filled all the tiers of an item category. This means that if you have something such as a T11 dagger and you were dropped an aetheryte, you could not pick it up. Well, you could pick it up. You could put it in your vault, but you could not use it on that character ever. As well, I could not use the murky toxin unless I had a bane serpent already and I wanted to give up the bane serpent and replace it with a murky toxin since there's no swap outs, things like this. Now, if you find the next tier up for an item category, you have to take it. It's not an optional thing. If you have a T2 greater defense ring or like a health ring and you see a T3 superior wisdom ring drop in that beautiful purple bag, you have to take the wisdom ring because it's a higher tier. You always have to take things that drop that are higher tiers. Say you wanted to keep the obsidian dagger, which is T6, instead of replacing it with a mithril dagger, which is T7. Too bad. You have to take the higher one. You can also store collector items. These are kind of like swap outs, but you never use them. In this, you're going to see I hold on to a speed sprout, and I think I hold on to some like UT from dungeon or something. I can't remember later on in the series. You'll see I'm kind of holding on to random items that are kind of just fun to hold on to. You can keep those, but you can never use them. Hofstra and I are playing together. As you can see, it's a split screen, but there's no trading or sharing of items between our characters. The only things you'll see us do is if an item is dropped in a pink bag and one of us accidentally picks it up or something, we might drop it for the other person. If it's in something like a red demon chest or one of those cemetery chests or, pink bags in general, things that are public bags, you can give them to each other because that's technically dropped for everybody. That's okay. Now the last rule is that if your character drops a dye, like if say you're in a lot and you get the white cloth or something, you have to use it. As well, you can only use the dyes that your character gets dropped. You can't take them from your vault or anything like that. You have to get the dyes yourself. And if you get one, you have to use it. This will lead to some really ugly characters in the future, I'm hoping. So far, we haven't gotten any dyes. That's the only spoiler. Alright, let's get on with the video. It's pretty great. I hope you guys enjoy it. The rules, again, are in the description. Sorry to take so long for them, but they're kind of important.